How's everybody doing? I'm going to make another tutorial. And this was going to be on building firmware. I'm going to build me some firmware today. And I'm going to build it for a WA730RE TP-Link wireless range extender. And this range extender has only got one LAN port, so I guess it doesn't have a switch in it. It's just got one LAN and a radio. It's a pretty simple device. Pretty simple. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. All right, first thing we need to do is find the Openwrt folder and open it in Terminal. Oh yeah, I got me a different operating system. I was using 10.04, which I really liked, but I didn't really like the desktop, but it didn't really bother me none as long as it worked. Well, I got to looking around on YouTube, and they got it pretty much set up where you can, change the desktop theme to anything you want it to be. And I got sort of liking the Linux Mint or Mate. Linux Mint Mate version. But what it is, I got noticed that other people having problems too, and as downloading these new distros, they work on some boards perfectly, but they don't work on other boards. And this one right here is a Micro Electronics H8 SSL i2. And the Linux Mint would not work on this one, but the Ubuntu 10 would. So I was going to put the Ubuntu 10 on there and see if I can just switch desktops and change the theme. Well, I got to looking around on the net, and this right here is a new distro right here. Somebody's already did it. Well, this is for the 14.04, and it is called Ubuntu Mate. Also, they made a 15, I think, 0.4, and it's Ubuntu Mate 2. It's a Ubuntu with the Mate desktop. And I think it's pretty neat. I can set this thing up any way you want it. Like it's even got virtual desktops right here. They are. This is one. If you look at my cursor right here, it's the one we on now. And right there is number 2. It's number 3, number 4. And just click on the one you want, and we're right back to number 1 again. And I think that's pretty cool and groovy. Yep. All right, let's continue with this build. This right here is my cheat sheet right here. Came right off of the other video that I made, building Openwrt, getting set up with the build environment. All right, first you need to do is copy, paste. And right there it is. And we're all ready. Now, I did some research on this. It's really not a router. It is a range extender. And it does got the Atheros wireless chipset in it. And I think it's a 9.1 something. But the AR7 to the AR9s all carry the same driver. So I already got that set up. Now right here on target profile, these are all the OpenWRT's got support for. And they got support for a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Now here's for the Buffalo. If you got a Buffalo router, they got support for it. Like Compex, D-Links. I mean, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. There's Link Systems. Netgears. And OpenWRT, they really come out with a lot of stuff. You know, TP-Link, you can look at it, they got a bunch. Okay, right here is a TP-Link TL WA730RE. And that's the target profile I'm be targeted for. With these two selected right here, I could click on save it, and then back out and hit make, and it would make me some firmware, pretty much the same firmware you would download from the site. This router's only got 4 megabytes of memory on it, which ain't that much to mess with, so we can't do a whole lot. Now if you got a router that's got 8 or 16, like, you could really, you know, build that firmware the way you want it. More likely it's got 1 or 2, 3 or more USB ports. And you can set up all kinds of, you can set up Samba, transmission, QoS. I mean, like all kinds of stuff. You know, just you could load that firmware up, and I mean, you could really build you some firmware that's just awesome. You know. But me, I only got 4 megabytes, so there really ain't gonna be too much I could do with it. So I'm gonna go right straight to it. I'm gonna go to Lucy, click enter, and then I want the Lucy on it, and the module right here. And as soon as I clicked on the Lucy, it locked this one in, because this one right here is required for the Lucy. And theme. And yeah, also this right here, the Lucy theme bootstrap, it's locked in. But I want the Lucy theme OpenWRT. That's the one I've always been using. That's the one I like. So I'm going to click it in, and I like it. So I'm going to get it. Protocols. This is the main reason I'm building it, because there's no way to get Relay D on an OPKG update, because this range access standard does not have a WAN port. It just got one LAN, and that's it. So I'm going to build me some firmware that's already got Relay D in it. And that's pretty much what I want on that. Okay. All right. Okay. Nope. Here we go. Chrono modules. What I'm looking is I want to look for some LED modules. I like the K-mode LED trigger net filter. That's the one I like. Now they got another one in here, like a timer or one shot, you know, or Morse, where the lights sort of flutter, you know. I don't really like this one right here. It like gives the original on and off, or slow flashing. That's what I like. I built some firmware, and I forgot exactly which one it was. I think it's the Morse. It might have been the one shot, but you know, the LEDs were working, but they fluttered. It had a fluttering type thing, you know. But I ain't gonna spend all day sitting looking at my router LEDs, you know, blinking, you know. But this is one I want. And also, you got to go to net filter extensions. Go down to K mode, IPT LED module to trigger the LED with a net filter rule. And I'm going to click that in. All right. Exit. Okay, really, we're almost done. Network. Okay, routing and redirection. If you look, just as soon as I clicked on Lucy Proto Relay, it locked the Relay D in. Right there's Relay D, and that's what I'm going to be needing when what I'm going to configure this range extender to do is to be a client bridge plus repeater. And if you set up with a repeater, you're going to be needing Relay D, and that's the main reason. You know, I'm building this firmware for this range extender. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click Save, Enter, Enter, Enter. Okay, Exit. And believe it or not, folks, that's pretty much it. Now, you can get into some real elaborate stuff. You know, it's like base system right here. Just look at all this stuff. Bussy box in it, base files, drop bear, file system tools. But all this right here was put in there from, you know, the OPKG, QNS. Well, I usually put in the QSN script, but, you know, this I'm not going to use it for that, so I don't need it. From the developers. The developers already set this thing up. When you click onto that target profile, it loads all this up for you. OpenWRT has really made it simple for even dummies like me to build their own firmware. And I think them developers, that's great. I like to get in there and help those developers. I like to be a developer myself, but people go to college to learn this stuff. I'm trying to learn it, but everybody's telling me you need to learn C and C++, C++, program language before you really even get into development. So I got me some Arduinos, and that's just pure C programming, and I'm going to try to get it and start learning it. Maybe from a year from now, I'll get some better knowledge in my head where I can get into development, but that's something in the future. Okay, now I am done configuring. Now let's start the build. Let me go ahead and save it. Be sure before you back out of this thing completely, save it. I usually save it 2 or 3 times, and now you can exit. All right. Now I have built some firmware on this before, and a lot of that stuff's the same, and it's already been downloaded, so it ain't got to download it again. If it's already been downloaded and it's in the DL folder and it's there, the program's set up to go for it already. If it's there, it ain't got to download it, so it's going to use it. So this is going to be pretty quick. Now, if it had to download everything, I'd probably pause it because it's probably going to take 40 minutes, 45, maybe 30 minutes or more. But when it's set up like that, it don't take it that long. All right, let's hit the make. And let's get started. All right. But I really like this Ubuntu Mate. And it's you can change your desktop. I had a Windows XP theme on there, and I thought that was pretty good. You can switch around any theme you want it, I like it. Ubuntu Mate. And this right here is a newer distro. I didn't even know they had this until it popped up. Download a distro Mate. And I still can't believe how many distros they got. They got something like over 300 different ones. I mean, a bunch that you can download and try. There's so many of them, it's mind-boggling. But I really like Linux Mint. But on my MSI boards, you know, I can load it up and it does okay. But there's something about on some other boards, I load it up and it just will not work. And this board I got in this computer right here, it won't work on it. But the Ubuntu Mate works just fine. Okay. Since I already had a lot of the packages already downloaded, and looky there, it gave me a prompt back. That means it is finished. I'll close out this terminal. Let's take a look at what we got. Let's open up on WRT. When it finishes doing a build, it puts all your firmware in this bin folder right here. Okay, let's take a look at our bin folder. And right here are the two files that we're going to upload on the range extender. Is this one right here. It's the Openwrt generic WA730RE version 1 squash factory bin. Now, if I already had a different copy of Openwrt on there and want to put this one on there, I just grab this one right here as squash upgrade bin, and I put that on there, but I don't, so I'm going to put it over this factory one right here. And also, you know, if I go to liking it or want to change it, you know, this is where I screwed up on the last one. I threw that 15 on there and didn't know how to show the hidden files, but this one right here is very simple. I like this one. It says show hidden files, and right there they are. This is a .config file right here, and this is what the .config file looks like. And if you look down at, you know, if the hash mark is gone, you'll probably see equals Y. That means it's going to be included in the firmware. Right here is, you know, target system, you know, is the AR71XSY. If it doesn't have the hash mark on it and it equals Y, that means it's going to be included in the firmware. And this right here is your config file. And this when you start the build process, this is the config file that it goes to. This one right here. It grabs it, and this right here what it builds your firmware from. And you see right here all the routers, you know, there's a TPL, you know, this right here is a TLWD 4300. I got quite a few of those. But right here, the hash marker's not there. Config target generic TLWA730RE equals Y. Yes, that's going to be installed. And you see here, I really ain't even started, you know, like, wow, look at all of it, you know, like, woo, there we go. Just look at all the packages, everything. It's just a bunch of configuring going on. You see, like this, and it has a hash mark on it. Config package, lib is library, and JSON equals Y, and that's in there. Oh yeah, just look at all. Wow. Okay, now this right here is what your config file looks like. If it doesn't have a hash mark and it's Y, it's going to be included. Okay, now here's what I do with this config file right here. I grab it and I just throw it right here in the folder. And it's a hidden file. You don't see it in there. I just go just right here, and right there it is. I had to go to view and show hidden files, and right there it is. The config folder. I mean the config file. For the configuring. What I do is, if I really like this firmware, and I really like it, and I want to modify it, you know, what I do is I just open up my Openwrt folder, and open WRT, and I just grab it, put it back in there, hit the back button, back button, and open a terminal, close, and open my menu configure, make menu config. Ooh, I hate that when that happens. Yeah. There. I hit the undo button. I didn't mean to hit make. Let me close that out. All right. One more time. Let's try it again. Screw up. Just try it again. Open a terminal. Close. Make menu config. Give it a second. And right there you are. You're right back where you was again. All you got to do is, just hit make, and you'll make the same folder. If you want to tweak it up, just go to Lucy or whatever you want, library, whatever. But what it is, you only got 4 megabytes on this thing. Let's see, right there it is. A target profile link is WA730RE. But you only got 4 megabytes, so you really can't do a whole lot for this router. But I have made some firmware for it. Yep. And right there it is. Firmware. And all I got to do is put it on my router and config it, and I'll have me another open WRT client bridge with a repeater. Ain't that cool and groovy? Okay, folks, I hope you learned something. I had a feeling this was going to be a quick one, and I hope you learned something. And all y'all have a great day, and bye-bye.